All right. In this demo lesson, we're going to take a look at object holds in Google Cloud Storage. And for that purpose, I have created a bucket. It's called retention demo. We're going to see why in just a second. And in that bucket, I have a single file called index.html. So we can access the holds menu over here by selecting some objects and then clicking on Manage Holds. And this will open up the menu for holds for those objects. Now, current bucket doesn't have a retention policy in place, so both of these holds actually function exactly the same way. If we set a hold on an object, you can actually see that it shows up here under holds for that particular object. Now that means that we cannot overwrite or delete this particular object. And try to do that. And as you can see, it could not be deleted. And why? Well, because there's a temporary hold on it, right? Okay, so let's go back, manage holds, and let's take the hold off, like that. And now our object is in its normal state again. You see that there are no holds currently on it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Where the differences between the holds come into play is if our bucket has a retention policy in place. Yeah. So let's do that. Let's set a retention policy of 300 seconds, so 5 minutes. Here we go. And now, in case we set up a temporary hold, this means that even though the retention policy would allow us to delete the object, it will actually not delete it due to the hold, right? So let's just wait for 2 more minutes for the retention expiration date to pass, and then try to delete it. All right, so now the retention expiration date has passed. So if we refresh this, just to be on the sure side, so you can see that the expiration date has passed. It is 33 past now. So if I try to delete this object, it tells us it cannot be deleted. And the reason for that is that there is a temporary hold. Note that this is not, the deletion did not fail due to the retention policy, rather due to this temporary hold. Okay, so again, we could just remove the hold, and now it would be okay to delete the file. However, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to try to use an event-based hold. Now, an event-based hold will remove, or once we remove the event-based hold, the actual retention expiration will start, right? So note that currently the expiration date of the retention period is in the past. And now when we set an event-based hold on that object, note that it changes here, that the retention expiration date is determined upon hold removal. And now we have an event-based hold, right? So of course we cannot delete this object. This will not work. Let's go and take a look at the error. There is an active event-based hold and it cannot be deleted. Great. So what do we do next? Well, let's remove that hold and see what happens. Now that we removed the hold, the expiration for the retention was updated to exactly 5 minutes into the future, right? So because we have set a 5-minute retention for these objects. In reality, of course, we would be using longer time spans, but for demo purposes, that's not really feasible. So this, even though we removed the hold, we cannot delete this object. And the reason for that this time is not the hold, but rather the retention policy, right? The retention policy means that there needs to be another 5 minutes that pass before we can remove this object. So that's the difference between a temporary hold and an event-based hold. A temporary hold is just basically a deletion safety that you can set up or remove as you wish. The event-based hold property in a bucket that has a retention policy will start the clock on the retention policy once the hold has been removed. So that can ensure us that the object cannot be deleted for the length of the retention policy after the hold has been removed. There's another interesting feature that is relative to this, and that's the default event-based hold property. This is the a bucket-specific property, and we can find it under here under protection. So here you can see that we have the retention policy for 5 minutes on. And now what we can do is we can enable default event-based hold option. Let's do that. There we go. Now what this means is that if we upload any object to this particular folder, I need to choose a different one this time, like that. There we go. Now that's uploaded. And now we can see that this particular new file here has an event-based hold on, and that means that we cannot delete it. Additionally, the retention expiration date is currently unknown. So only once we remove the default event-based hold, the timer starts running, and it will show us that the file can be deleted in 5 minutes. Okay, I guess that's everything we have to say about object holds. See you in your next lab. Bye.